So I'm going to begin just by looking and comparing, looking to the subject for relationships from one side to the other, from front to back. There might be some sight measuring involved in considering the height to width from your point of view, for instance, or there may be in sighting the parts, there may be connections to the axis or sort of overall direction of the figure. One of the things I pick up on here first is that the angle of the feet is really important. When you have this 3/4 view, if we sit the figure in this position where we're seeing the front and the side simultaneously, or front back and front top and side, then just like that cube therefore has these receding angles, so will the legs. So will one foot to the other, from front foot to back foot, and from left foot to right foot. And so finding those angles becomes important. Maybe the legs form an important division, the move from the body to head, but also within that, then looking for where can a plane shift be found. If I've notated some things to come back for later, it is thinking in those sort of three-dimensional terms. In drawing with the straight lines as the tool, you embody that tool. So the question is not whether it's a straight line. You don't have to think about it anymore. You're making a series of straight lines. So the question instead is not whether it's going to be straight lines used or where to use straight lines. If everything is a straight line, then the question is, what's its role? It's instead being able to move fluidly between these different roles for this really flexible tool of comparison and of iteration of drawing. And so, drawing here speeds up to 4 times speed. We're looking at a 12-minute drawing in 4 minutes. And once I've achieved the general sort of abbreviation in the first couple of minutes, we start to then build on that. The line and what it does moves between being this blocking in of an abbreviation, this sort of block form blocking in of an abbreviation, or then turning into straight line construction, where it becomes more elaborated in the outer description, and then moving to inside edges that can portray the plane shift, portray explicit changes from one plane to another. Also, not always tessellating that, not always like making like a closed plane, but often open planes, so you can move just from change in the edge. And then it's moving between being a line extension using grid tool or angle tool, an axis, a notation, and so forth. So all these things come back into play and are woven together. You'll also notice that I'm working from this black and white subject with the raccoon, but the local value of like the black mask doesn't come into being the first thing to be shaded, because instead, in looking for volume, then something like the shadow that falls on that back leg helps to describe the volume more, versus the black or dark as a color. Instead, it's as light and shadow. It is, again, like using those straight lines to construct a shadow shape, for instance.